Buenos dias. Dias buenos. Top of the morning, beautiful people. It is your girl, Miss Pamela Pacheco. I am so excited, humbled, grateful, and honored as always to be your host, to be here with you guys. I get to do this. I remember when I first started entrepreneurship and I was looking forward to these calls. I was not only looking forward to these calls because of the information I was going to receive, but I was looking forward towards the inspiration that I was going to receive. I know very, very well that how you start your day sets the tone for your day. So kudos to each and every single one of you guys that are aware of that as well and are doing what it takes to be great in every aspect of your life, because garbage in is garbage out, but greatness in is greatness out. So shout out to you guys, because what you subscribe to, what you listen to, what you do in the morning, what you do throughout your day sets the tone. So shout out. We have a lot of new people that are on the call. If you did not catch last week's call, make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, Chosen Global on YouTube, right? You can find all of the recordings to our Breakfast Club calls, the majority, right? The majority of our recordings are on there. But I am excited for today's call. Last week, we spoke a little bit about 50-50. We spoke a little bit about inviting. We spoke a little bit about just different tools. And this week, type a 1 in the chat if you are on last week's call and you got value from that. Let me see you. Let me see you. Okay. Make sure you guys are sending it to all panelists and attendees. Awesome. So, if there is something, Keontae, how you doing? Hello. If there is something that you guys have, like something pressing, that is like something absolutely that you're like, Pam, I have this type of issue. I'm struggling with this in my business. I'm struggling with this in my life that is affecting my business. I want you guys to type it in the chat in questions, send them to me, because at the end of our call today, I will address them. So make sure you are utilizing the Q&A, because this mentorship call, this leadership call is for you guys, right? This is to serve our community. This is to make sure that we are helping each other, that we are empowering one another, that we are encouraging one another. And this is always a safe space to voice how you feel, to voice what's going on, to voice what's working, what's not working, and how we can help each other do and be better. So welcome again to the call. I'm going to start the call today by talking about something. If you guys are on our team and you have been seeing me hashtag SINALOA and all of our chats, you guys know I had just got back to posting every single thing that I'm doing. Before, I used to always sneak pictures while I was showing people, whether it was one-on-one on Zoom or it was in person, and I got away from that, right? And ever since Black Mamba, Miss Michelle Taylor, Blue Diamond in training was like, you know what, showing the receipts, I was like, oh, I got to get back to that. Because there's power in that. So if you are in our team and you have seen me hashtag SINALOA, let me know if you know what that means, or if you're not on here, and what is SINALOA? SINALOA. And if you've heard that, if you've been in our industry, you have heard that very, very often. Talk to me and let me know if you know what that means. And I am going to raffle off. Yes. Awesome. Josh, you weren't allowed to answer that, Josh, because you're an expert in this game, but you cheated a little bit, but just joking. So safety, that is absolutely correct. Safety in numbers and law of averages. So SINALOA. And if you've ever heard SINALOA, it is actually a fun fact of the day. It is a town in Mexico, right? It is a state in Mexico, but it really essentially represents one of those themes that are essential lessons in sales, that are essential lessons in marketing. And whether we realize it or not, we are in a numbers game. We are in a sales business because we have to put sales in the board. We have to put sales in our office to rank advance. We have to put sales to drive volume. We have to put sales to drive customers. We have to put sales in to capitalize on our bonus, to capitalize on 50-50, to capitalize on 50-50 squared, to capitalize on this opportunity. So, like I mentioned, it represents one of those themes, that one of those essential lessons in sales that anyone who is going to sell anything or works with marketing needs to know. Because the reality is that you will never be secure in sales if you do not have the numbers working for you rather than against you. So how can I break this down a little bit more? If you need to do 5 sales a week, you have really good people to talk to, then maybe if you have really good people to talk to, talking to 5 may give you the results that you need. And that is not only based on the people you're talking to, right? That's also based on who you are, what your skill sets are. How are you subscribing to your personal development? How are you growing your business? By the way, are you registered for training April 15th? secretdirectevents.com. If you are not, are you registered for Freedom Academy July 14th through the 16th? If you are not, secretdirectevents.com. So what your outcome is depends on the quality of people you're talking to and also your skill sets, right? Your mindset. Now, if you just have one person that you just don't go forward and you may fall short of your goal. But if you expect everyone to buy from you, but you still talk with 10, then you only need really half to commit and you'll achieve your numbers. But if you want to be successful, if you want to see massive growth, if you want to see massive impact, you need to have a lot of prospects. You need to have a lot of people to talk to. You need to have a lot of people thinking about what you are offering. So I ask you, do you have people thinking about what you are offering? Do you have a lot of people talking about you? Do you have a lot of people talking to you? And I say that because the reality is that when people are thinking about what you are offering, do they know that you have the best plant-based nutrition products that they exist? Do they know that you are the travel and lifestyle connect? Do they know that when it comes to personal care and skincare, you have the best products in the market? Do they know that you have access to the best community of people, of personal development, of love, of light, of empowerment, of encouragement? Do they know that you have access to a platform that builds schools because they want to do philanthropic work around the world? So these are all questions to ask you, but it gets back to the old saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Right? Opportunity is when preparation, luck is when preparation and opportunity meet itself, but it's really like the harder you work, the luckier you get. Jim Rohn, one of my favorites, he's like, if you're the best salesman and you close 9 out of 10 people you talk with, and I'm you and I close 2 out of 10, then we can have a competition. And over a month, I'll beat you. You know why? Because I'm going to talk to more people than you do. And if you talk to 10, I'll talk to 100. You'll get your 9, but I'll get my 20. So I'm going to say that again. If you're the best salesman and you close 9 out of 10 people you talk to, but I'm new and I close 2 out of 10, then we can get into a competition, because over a 30-day span, I'm going to beat you. Why? Because I'm going to just talk to more people. If you talk to 10, you'll get your 9, but I'll talk to 100 and I'll get my 20. Yes, Lisa, show more people. So the first half is safety in numbers, right? And the second half of that acronym is the law of averages. And it pretty much works like this. You can be selling cardboard, right? And make $100 for every one you see, that then you have a profit number to work with. But if you're going, let's say, door to door, and you have the best products and you have a normal sort of outcome, that is for every 10 doors you knock on, 3 people are likely to agree at it and look at what it is that you're offering. Right? And if you present to those 3 and do it well, then you're likely to make 1 sale. Now, the question really lies is, if you make 1 sale that day, then you've made $100 on the sale, or have you made 10 from it? See, the reality is, if you need to knock on 10 doors to get enough prospects to be able to make 1 sale, then knocking on 20 doors, you're expecting to make 2 sales, $200, right? But if you think about this and realize that the final profit is really directed to the number of doors that you knock on. You need to knock on 10 doors to make $100, then you're actually getting $10 per door. But if you think about you knocking on the first door and they say, no, we already got that. We already got the travel club. We already got the personal care. We already got the Dead Sea Minerals, right? Well, thank you. But you knock on the second door and they set up a time to look and say, thank you. Oh, I'm definitely interested. Oh, I've been looking for Dead Sea Minerals. Oh, I'm so happy you came and knocked. Like my friend Jimmy says, finding is for the seekers, right? Finding is for the searchers and the seekers. And this is the law of averages. These 2 things that they're super basic, but we're all familiar with it, with the idea, but we need to keep them close to heart when it comes to being successful in the long term and building a sustainable business, because there's only a certain amount of time for you to capitalize on an opportunity within the lifetime of that opportunity. We spoke about, the book Outliers, where it basically says that it's, people saying that, oh, it's legendary what you're doing, like you're self-made. And it's really a myth, because, what Malcolm Gladwell is saying in this book is that truly lies, the success really lies of somebody in their field is because it's a series of events that they just said, hey, you know what? I am going to capitalize on this opportunity, on this phenomenon, right? Within the lifetime of this phenomenon. And if you're thinking of, what are some ways, like safety in numbers and laws of averages, when you're thinking of that, it's like, yes, how are you inviting people? What we spoke about that a little bit last week, but it doesn't really matter how you're inviting people if you don't have the mindset that you're going to close them. If you don't have the mindset that everybody that you show to is going to get secret the first time. Like I declare that over every presentation, over every person I meet with, everybody I talk to gets secret the first time. They get in 50-50 and we go crown route. Everybody I talk to builds massive teams without me. I declare this. What are you declaring over your business? What are you declaring over your life? Ask yourself that. But are you making the numbers your friend? See, here's what happens. Josh and I have been sitting with new teammates this week that we've got started, and it's the same system, right? We tell them like, look, you put us in front of 20 people, you put the information in front of 20 people, you're guaranteed to get 6 because that's just the numbers. Those are just the numbers. That's just the system. Like you want to make a profit, you put in at least a quick 4, but you put in a quick 6, you're definitely going to make your profit and some, but it's showing 20 people. But here's what happens. We show one person and then we show another person and those 2 people don't get started. And now we're just like, man, we start questioning, right? Because let's be honest, that level of excitement, it goes down because it happens to me. It happens to me too. But here's the reality. What vision do you have for your future? What vision do you have, that compelling vision that is pulling you? Because if you're giving up after 1 prospect, if you're giving up after 1 no, if you're giving up after 10 no's, after 20 no's, is that vision really what you want? Do you trust that that vision is going to come to fruition? Do you trust that this is already going to happen for you, that all you have to do is run through the numbers? See, I am so in tune with what this is that it's like, I'm back in that space that everybody I talk to is getting this work. Everybody I meet, you breathe, you got a pulse, you got a purpose, you need to see what I'm working on. Because I strongly believe that this can be integrated into anybody's lifestyle, into anybody's business, into whatever their dreams are, whatever their goals are. But do you believe that? And if you don't believe that, borrow my belief. Borrow your leader's belief, borrow Isaac's belief, borrow Muzaffar's belief, borrow Jesse's belief, borrow AON's belief, borrow Josh Valentine's belief, right? And I could keep going on and on and on. But the truth of the matter is that you need to believe that. And that is how you make the numbers your friend. That is how you're sitting down with people. Now, am I going to sit here and tell you that every single person that I talk to is I'm getting an appointment? No, that would be a lie, right? That would be a lie. But here's what I do tell you. I'm making sure that I am filling up my calendar each and every single day. Like, my job is to make the numbers my friends, because again, safety in numbers and law of averages. That's all I know. It's like, I don't know who's going to get started, but all I know is that there's safety in numbers and law of averages, and I'm going to do what it takes until. What does that until look like for you? Ask yourself that. What does that until look like for you? Thank you for sharing that, right? Faith, me too. I get discouraged too sometimes, but here's what I remember. Because our feelings will deceive us. Emotions, ooh, goodness gracious, right? The feminine energy is absolutely incredible, but our emotions can get the best of us sometimes if we're really being honest. And men too, right? But the reality is, I tell myself every day, I'm a master of my emotions. I control every aspect of my emotional capacity, my emotional intelligence. Like, successful people seek me out. Leaders are talking about me. Leaders need me. I am a community builder. I am a magnet to greatness. Everybody around me wins. So it's like, you got to get in that state of mind. You got to get in that energy. You got to, because it's a frequency you're tapping into. Don't let a no distract you. And a no, it just means it's a next opportunity. Next one. It's like, not right now, but they're not saying no to you. They're not saying no to the opportunity. They're saying no to themselves. But we have trainings that help you get the skill sets necessary to be able to build those muscles. And I tell people all the time, listen, our training events, they're beyond you learning skill sets for this business. They allow you to learn skill sets for life. They allow you to build a grit, to build an internal fortitude, a mental fortitude that once you conquer that, once you learn that, you can go and apply that to anything in life, to any business. But remember, safety in numbers and law of averages. It's like, are you making the numbers your friend? What does your calendar look like? A lot of people are like, oh my goodness, like, I've got messages from you guys, a lot of you guys from our community, and I'm so grateful for you guys. And like, and I see you rocking and rolling. I see you, getting people started and stuff. And it's like, I'm not doing anything special. I'm not doing anything special, but filling up my calendar and making the numbers my friend. That's really what I'm doing, filling up my calendars and making the numbers my friend, and knowing that I have a certain level of expectancy, because that expectancy is the breeding ground for miracles. And it's not only I'm focusing on me putting in numbers, I'm helping my teammates. I'm having conversations with my teammates. I'm helping them do launches, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's in person. Having conversations with teammates building teams in Boston, teammates building teams in Atlanta, teammates building teams in Jersey, teammates building team here in Florida. So it's like, what are you focusing on that you want to expand? Because whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. See, I'm focusing on this. The list of people I do not know is longer than the list of people I know. But let's be real. You never run out of people to show. You just run out of people that you're comfortable talking to. Have you ever had that moment? You're like, you scroll into your phone, and you're like, I'm going to call this person. And then all of a sudden, your fingers get stuck. You get carpal tunnel on your fingers, and you can't do that anymore. Has that happened to anybody? That's just me, right? Because you're not uncomfortable, but you're just uncomfortable talking to that person. But why? If you believe in this so much, why? If you know what you have your hands on. See, I believe that when you really and truly know what you have your hands on, you're unstoppable. Like, ain't nobody dealing with you. And the truth of the matter is that there's so many people that are just living quiet lives of desperation. They're just waiting for you to make that phone call. They're just waiting for you to reach out. They're just waiting for you to say, hey, I got something, I gotta talk to you. Hey, and I have no problem telling somebody, hey, listen, your name came up in a conversation with my mentor because I'm working on something. Like, I get straight to it. Hey, how are you? I hope all is well with you. Great. I always check in, right? Like we spoke about last week. You check in, making sure people are good, because the last thing you want to do is deal with somebody that just went through a death in their family. And I'm going to give you a prime example. This queen boss, I'm gonna just call her K, right? Her name starts with a K. I met her at a networking event 2-3 weeks ago. We exchanged information. She's like, man, I want help with my business and things like that. And I was like, awesome, of course, I'll be more than happy to help you with your business. And she said, I'm gonna call you next week. Well, I put in a reminder in my phone, expect call from K. She didn't call me. So I didn't have her number, but she had my number, but I had her social media. So yesterday in my follow-ups, because every day I have to hit up 20 people, that's not negotiable, whether it's sending conversations on text or whether it's me hitting up people, right? You decide what number works for you. That's just my number. That's a number that I can do every single day. So I hit her up and I followed up and I was just like, hey, how are you? Hope all is well. I didn't hear from you. She's like, I'm so sorry, Pam. My mom just passed. And immediately, if you know my story, obviously like that hit home for me. And I was just like, man, my condolences. Please let me know how I can serve you. I'm not going to tell you that I know how it feels because that's insensitive, but I could tell you that I could relate because I experienced the same. I said, please let me know how I can pray for you and your family. In the meantime, I'm going to be praying for you. She said, yes, you know, she was sick for a very long time. We're catching up. And then I told her, I said, listen, she said, but I do want to contact you in the next few weeks. I know this much. The next few weeks, I have SRT in Tampa that I am hosting and emceeing. And my goal is to have 20% of the room in there be there because of Pamela Pacheco. I don't care what anybody else does. 20% of that room will be full because of me. Mark my words. So I said, listen, you may not be up for this, but I have a personal development, leadership, and business launch taking place in my city, April 15th. And I would love for you and your husband to be my guest. You may not be up for it, and I respect that, but I just wanted to extend the invite as my guest. These tickets cost $50 each. I will buy your tickets if you come to the event. If you just want to be around great energy and community and positivity and be around just people that are going to encourage you and empower you, this is the atmosphere you want to be on April 15th. So even though she was going through whatever she was going through, she was like, you know what? I'm there. Because I'm going to tell y'all this. A lot of people shy away from like, oh my goodness, this person just lost somebody. I share my truth. The truth is that when my mom transitioned, the community of Secret empowered me. The community of Secret encouraged me. The community of Secret, before they became even my people, they were praying for me. They were meditating with me every single morning, right? This is the tribe that we have here. And the truth of the matter is that as soon as my mom transitioned, I got to work. Right? It was like she was just like, I got you. You're going to turn your pain into purpose and power every single day. I got to work. Our team got to work, made $8,000 in 8 weeks, hit platinum. That's my truth. So I never am going to shy away from anybody that's like, oh, well, you just experienced a death in the family. How dare I talk to you about business? No, because this is more than business to me. This is community. This is legacy. This is love. This is light. This is what people need in their life. So whether you realize that or not, that's okay. Again, I'm just sharing my truth. Long story short, Miss K is coming. And guess what? Her husband is coming too, to the Secret SRT. And they live in Lakeland, Florida. That is about an hour and 20 minutes from where we're going to have the SRT on Saturday. However, I edified the event. I added value to what it can do for them. And she said, you know what? My husband never wants to come to things like this. And he owns a music school and he owns a trucking business. And he said he's open to coming with me. I said, amazing, amazing. Left it at that. I sent them the flyer with the SRT. I sent them the screenshot of their tickets. So I said, here are your tickets. You are my VIP guest. Make sure you ask for me when you come at the door. I will confirm with you 2 days before. Is that okay? Okay, perfect. Moving on. Here is my number. Is it okay if you send me your number so that I lock you in? Because social media, sometimes it's a little unreliable. Again, strategically, because people are weird, right? Have you ever met somebody And then all of a sudden you asking from their number and they're looking at you like, why you need my number? That's a little much. But here's what people typically do nowadays. You exchange social media. That's why another thing is always very important for you to make sure that your brand is you, represents every aspect of you, of what it is that you want people to know you for, of what it is that you want people to experience when they click on your page, right? So again, safety in number and law of averages. Are you making the numbers your friend? Are you reaching out to the people? Like, what does your sample size look like of people that you're reaching out to? And it's just reaching out to more people. Now, maybe you'll get burnt out and you're saying, hey, you know what? I'm looking at people and it's like, Pam, I ran out of people to talk to. You don't run out of people to talk to. You're just not staying around enough people. It's very simple, right? And I'm going to make a dating joke because I am single. And it's interesting because one of my best friends, Yvette, is single. And I was telling her the other day, and I was just like, you're always home. I was like, what do you think? Your knight in shining armor is just going to crawl into your window and be like, hello there. And I'm telling her that, but my friend told me the same thing. So I had to use it on somebody else. But it's true. It's like, you got to run through the numbers, unfortunately, but that's, you have to play the dating game. Well, it's the same thing in this business. Is you have to keep showing more people. You have to keep showing more people and change up your environment. If you're going through your phone and you're looking at your phone and you're like, okay, I'm tired of texting people. I'm not going to text the same people. Go into your Facebook, hit up 10 people that commented last on your pictures, that commented last on your posts, that messaged you and you didn't message them back, right? Because you have hidden requests and hidden messages in your Facebook that you completely ignore. And there's people right now sitting in your inbox that need this opportunity, that need to be exposed to what you have your hands on. But are you making the numbers your friend? Are you relying that there's safety in numbers and law of averages? Because that is absolutely imperative to what this looks like. And I'm gonna show you guys really quick. Right. This is what my calendar looks like for today. This is what my calendar looks like for today. And I'm already building my calendar for tomorrow. And my calendar has been looking like this every single day. Right. As soon as I get from here, I have a breakfast. Right after that, I have a call. Right after that, I have an in-person meeting with Josh in St. Pete. Right after that, I have 2 Zooms. Like, it's back to back to back. Why? Because there's safety in numbers and law of averages. So if you're not making the numbers your friends, if you are not filling up your calendar, how do you expect to win? How do you expect to show people? It's like, you can't show 5 people and get a no and say, this doesn't work. No, you're not working. You know, you have people on your phone. By the time you're 21, 1,000, statistically speaking, don't blame me, right? Statistically speaking, by the time you're 21, you know 1,000 people by first name, or they know you. Have you showed 1,000 people secret? I know I haven't yet. Can anybody in the chat, right in the chat, if you've showed 1,000 people, type a 1 in the chat. Thank you for your honesty, Faith. Me too. Type a 1 in the chat if you've showed 100 people what secret is. Like 100 conversations. You showed 100 conversations. You've had 100 exposures, right? You've had 100 demos in the last years. And I'm not talking about into your entire secret career. Have you even showed 100 people from the last event? From event to event, because new teams demand new lists. New teams demand new lists. If you're brand new, there's safety in numbers and law of averages. How's that list of 20? Did you show 2 out of that 20? Cool, let's show 2 more. Let's show 2 more. I don't care how those presentations come about. Show 2 more, show more. And I'm not saying that you're gonna go grab strangers from the road and be like, hey, I got something to show you. No, don't be weird either, right? Don't, because you messed it up for all of us. But there's people in your phone that you can contact. There is people in your Facebook. There's people on your Instagram. There's people on your social media platforms. There's people in LinkedIn that are waiting for you to respond to the message. There are people in your phone book. There are people in your community. There are people in your gym. There are people in your church. There are people in the spaces that we occupy, that we thrive in, that we work in, that we do life in. But do they know what you know? Do they know what you have access to? Safety in numbers and law of averages. Fill up your calendar. And I'm going to tell you guys, I heard this the other day in our leadership, and I do a leadership like a session every day with my pastor from Miami. And one of the things that we discussed were like 4 fundamentals of becoming more. And when we want to do more, when we know we deserve more, when we know we're like, okay, I'm going to make the numbers, my friend Pam, I know that there's safety in numbers and law of averages. It's like, the reality is that you know what we got to do, but here are 4 fundamentals of becoming more that I think that are going to help us all. Number 1, see more than yourself. See more than yourself. Your leadership is not just for you. Your leadership is not just for you. It's for your community. It's for your family. It's for your legacy. But see more than yourself. Number 2, do more than what you want. Man, let me tell y'all, it's not about just living for what I want. I'm living for what is right. I'm living for what is righteous. I'm living for legacy. I'm living for impact. I'm living for growth. I'm living for world-class movement. I am living to make a difference. What are you living for? Do more than what you just want. I'm gonna tell y'all, last night, I had a late night presentation. It was supposed to be at 9. It turned into almost a 10 o'clock presentation. And I had to be up this morning, and I have been not negotiating with my sleep. Your girl has been adamant about getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And I was cringing about doing that. But I knew that I needed to do more than I wanted. I knew that this next level is going to take a different version of me. Do more than what you want. You'll be rewarded for it. The other day, one of my presentations was at 8:30 in the morning. Yeah, okay. And it was a day that I did not have to be up for the gym at 8:30 in the morning. And I was just like, it took everything in me. And I was struggling to get up. It was a struggle for me that morning. But I said, you know what? It's not about me. This is about legacy. And it's always those presentations. It's always those exposures. And if you know what I'm talking about, type of 1 in the chat. That it's the ones that it's hard for you to get to. It's hard for you to get there. They're like some obstacles, but it's those ones that always turn into greatness. And guess what? She got started with a power pack. I'm telling you, what are you envisioning? What are you looking for? Are you making the numbers your friend? But do more than what you want. Because again, it's not just about living for what you want. I'm living for what is right. I'm living for the bigger picture. I'm living to bring your vision to fruition. Each and every single person on my team, like each and every single person in our community, each and every single person in our secret family. It's not just about the people that directly benefit me. It's about all of us, because you win, we all win. Number 3, give more than you have. If you want to grow, you have to sow. It's like, you have to sow. You're going to reap what you sow every single time. But it's the law of reaping and sowing and reaping. Give more than what you have, because again, if you want to grow, you have to sow. Number 4, love more than you feel. Love is not predicated on a feeling, but rather on a decision. It's a decision. And I believe this, and I know somebody's like, why is she talking about love with business? It's got a lot to do with it, okay? Because if you don't love what you do, and if you don't love how you're going about doing what you do, and you don't love the people you're doing it with, and you don't love the community you're serving, and you don't love our products, you don't gotta love all 90 plus of them. You gotta love one of them. Like Jesse Mack says all the time, major in 1, minor in 2. Which one are you majoring in our product line? Like which one you major in, which one you minoring in? Cool. You can have a double major too. That's cool. I had like a triple major in college, so it's all good. But love is more. Love more than you feel, because the reality is, like, when you're sitting down with somebody, you think people are looking at a presentation, they're looking at you. They're looking at how you feel. They're looking about how you not flinching. They're looking at you when you tell them dead in their eyes, like, I'm about to take over this market, and I promise you're going to hear about it again. And it may not be from somebody you know. It might not be from somebody I know of right at this moment, but I promise you they're going to be on my team. They're going to be affiliated to me in one way, shape, or form. But you got to see this first. So it's completely up to you. But do you love what you do enough to look at somebody like that? Because energy is contagious. People follow strength, character, confidence, never weakness. When you tell somebody you're going to do something, make sure you do it. Make sure you love enough what you're doing, how you're doing it, who you're doing it with, because all of that matters. It's interesting. My brother yesterday heard me talking to this prospect, and he knows him. He's like, oh, is that such and such? I said, yeah. And then he's like, are you hitting up like everybody that you know from back home, like every single person? I was like, nah, I'm not hitting up everybody, just people I want to. He was like, I feel that. I was like, yeah, because if I didn't like you, you weren't a pleasure to work with, like, I'm not hitting you up. If I've seen you not grow and I've been following you on social media, I want you to be a part of my team. And I know that sounds bad to some people, but I get to select who I do business with, because I'm not just doing business with people. I'm building relationships for life. This is life we're doing with people. So I am very aware of who I want around me, what that looks like, what that feels like, and what it is that I expect. So again, see more than just yourself, do more than what you want, give more than what you have, love more than how you feel. See, I understand this at a very, very young age, at a very early stage in entrepreneurship. My job is obedience. God's job is the outcome. Many times we trade in what we want in the future for what we want right now. But the road to becoming, the road to growing, the road to Crown Royale, the road to greatness, the road to abundance is marked by a decision to be obedient today, staying the course. It requires practical patterns. What are things that you are involved? What are things that you're doing every single day that you can keep up, that you can make a pattern, that you can allow it to take you to the level of greatness that not only you desire, that you deserve? Because more has meaning. And until we see other people, we will never walk into our purpose, until we know that we're here to serve, until we know that we're here to lead, until we know that we deserve the greatness, until we know that we deserve to live our wildest dreams, until we actually do that which we don't want to do, until we will never get to the place that we want to be. Until we start giving more than what we have, we'll never walk into a bigger world, into a more loving world, into a richer world. Like, it's still mind-boggling to me that the biggest problem right now in the world is obesity. So obesity, it's not poverty. Like, that has been something that ever since it was said on stage at Playbook, it has not left my mind. It has not left my mind. That is a problem. And if you have had anybody that has had any sickness whatsoever, and you know that, and you're not sharing these products with people, man, that's just selfish. And I know I'm not talking to selfish people, but yeah. And so we love more than what we feel. We will never leave a permanent mark. So take some time as you finish out this month to focus on an area of more. It can be more action. It can be more calls. It can be more calls to customers. It can be more perseverance. It can be more community involvement. It can be more networking. It can be more smiling and dialing. It can be more checking in on your teammates. It can be more work. It can be more getting people to training. Focus on an area of more. That's it. That's all I got for today. This has been your Breakfast Club call. Breakfast has been served. As always, it is my pleasure, honor, and privilege to serve you guys. I hope you guys got value from this. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Great day and God bless. Let's keep killing it.